everyone, it's Nicole and you're watching Bite Me, and it's the most wonderful time of the year. It's winter, New Year's close by, Christmas is all around us, and it's also my birthday during this month, by the way. But what happens most of all during the holiday season? You get so much of sweet stuff and there's so much of food and everything is left over and things go to waste, and I hate that about the holiday season. So what I decided to do with all the chocolate cake or any sort of brownies and stuff that get left behind at my house is I turn them into rum balls. Yup, I turn them into rum balls. I somehow managed to add more rum into the wonderful holiday season. So to begin with, all you need is about 800 grams of your favorite chocolate cake. And if it's been sitting on for a while and is slightly dry and stale, it works even better, because what's going to happen is that your cake is going to absorb way more liquid because it's already dry. So to your cake, which I've just like crumbed up, and I've just done this by hand, by the way, you could do it in your food processor or in your stand mixer and that would work just as well. So this is 800 grams of chocolate cake and you can see it's fairly dry. Okay, and you want to make sure that it's a really small crumb, because that way you can condense it together when you roll it up and it's going to be lovely and fudgy as well. So to your chocolate cake, you're going to go ahead and add about 124 ml of rum. Now this is just normal non-spiced rum that I'm using, because I find that when I use the spiced rum along with the raisins, it gets a little too heady even for me. So just add your rum. You can add any dark rum that you like. Just give it a nice mix. Once you've managed to incorporate the rum into all of the cake, and you can smell the rum, that's the best part. It smells all Christmassy, it smells like a good time, it smells amazing. What you're going to add next is 100 grams of condensed milk. And this is just normal condensed milk. So just go ahead and add that in. What this is going to do is help everything kind of stick together and merge, and when we compress it, it's going to stay like that. And then we mix again. Once you've mixed all of the condensed milk, and you can see that it's nicely incorporated because the cake starts doing this, it turns into like Play-Doh and it's all squishy and yummy, and yes, you can eat this Play-Doh, so all in all a win-win. What you're going to do after this is add some raisins. Now you don't have to add the raisins if you don't like raisins, but I think just the raisins add this lovely new texture to the whole rum ball when you bite into it, and also they're rum soaked raisins, so I mean, why would you not add them? So here I have 120 grams of raisins, and these raisins have been pre-soaked in rum. And if you forget to do this all year round, don't worry, I'm going to put the recipe down, and what my recipe does is heat up the raisins, and that helps them soak up the rum faster. So if you've forgotten to do this all year round, because everyone forgets, you can just fast forward the entire process with my recipe. And once all the raisins have been nicely distributed all over the cake, I'm going to let this entire mix sit in the fridge for at least 20 minutes so the entire mixture cools down, and that way it's easier for me to roll up when I want to make the rum balls. Give it a nice mix. You can actually hear how sticky it is. And that's the whole point. You want it to be really sticky and very fudgy. Then what you're going to do is get a bowl of water and keep wetting your gloves or your hands, because this is going to stick to your hands. And now I am going to use a cookie dough scooper, and every rum ball is going to weigh about 40 to 42 grams exactly. So once it's in your hand, we're just going to literally roll it up and make them quite dense, because when you ice them, you don't want the entire cake mix to fall apart. Try and push your raisins towards the insides. Once you've got the rum ball nice and round, you flatten the bottom of it, because it is going to sit on that part of it. And don't worry about it being perfectly round, because it's so full of rum, you're going to get people drunk eating this. No one is going to care about how round it is or any of that. So with this mix, you should get about 24 rum balls totally. And after you roll all of them out and set them onto a lovely tray or a plate, you put them back into the fridge and let them cool for at least 3 to 4 hours. At best, leave it overnight. We let the rum balls cool for 24 hours. That's why everything looks just slightly different, but the rum balls look perfect and they're ready to frost or put a lovely icing glaze on them. Now for this frosting, we're going to do a very old school frosting, which is kind of the ones that you used to find on breads or on cakes when you were a small kid, or your nana used to do at home. And all this has is 135 grams of icing sugar and 27 grams of cocoa powder. Now to this, I'm also going to add a very little tiny bit of vanilla, just a tiny splash. I'm also going to add a tiny pinch of salt. And then I'm going to start adding about 1.5 tablespoons of milk very slowly to the mix, because I want to achieve a frosting that is kind of thick and spreadable, but not too runny where it just kind of runs off the entire rum ball itself. Okay, and you're going to start whisking. So you can see that I still need more liquid because the icing sugar and the cocoa powder is not melting in. I'm going to add another 1/2 tablespoon. So see, that was roughly about 1.5 tablespoons of milk, and you just have to be patient and whisk it. It doesn't take long. So once you've incorporated all of the icing sugar and the cocoa powder and the milk, what you're going to do is check for this kind of consistency. You want that sort of thick, chocolatey, gooey sort of lovely texture, and this is what we're going to spread on top of the rum balls. So you're going to just grab about little less than a teaspoonful to start. Spoon it on. And you kind of want to achieve this sort of lovely fluid swirl. Okay, so it kind of looks like a rose, it looks deliberate. And that's pretty much done. And if you want to have something extra on it, you can just put in some lovely chocolate sprinkles, more than 3 hopefully. Okay, so there you go. Also, you can freeze the rum balls as they are without the icing, but I suggest you ice them about a day before you want to serve them at most. So let's do another one. And now your rum balls are perfectly ready to eat because they've got their lovely frosting on top and the sprinkles, and they're full of rum. And this is such an awesome thing to serve at like a party, especially at the end of the night when people are looking for a nightcap, and you can give them cake as well. So this is kind of what it looks like inside, and it's all gooey and fudgy and yummy, and it's going to go straight in my mouth. I can't talk now, I forgot about this. But they're delicious, they're full of rum. I took a very big bite. Be sure to try out this recipe, especially if you have a lot of cake at home, and if you take big morsels like me, it's perfect. Share this with all your family and friends. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and have a wonderful holiday season.